Welcome to India, actually. Yeah, we are now connected to Dr. Deshapriya from the SUNFO in Sri Lanka.
Welcome from our hearts, and we are happy to see you.
And you just came from a conference, right? You are with the SUNFO in India, in New Delhi right now to have a conference there. And where we met was actually very beautiful. We met in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
At the medical conference. It was the 60th International Conference for Alternative Medicine, and you were the board member there of the university, and this is how we met. So we were very interested always in seeing what SUNFO is doing. I mean, you've been the co-founder of SUNFO, right?
Yes.
So it must be in 1999, around in May, what I remember.
Yes, 22nd May 1999. That was the National Heroes Day. We consider the Republic Day of Sri Lanka.
Oh,
nice.
Which we got the full independence from the Great Britain after colonization for over 400 years.
Mm-hmm. What was your inspiration to found this organization? What was the idea there back then?
Yes, that time in 1999, Sri Lanka was undergoing with an internal conflict, war, or the fighting, especially the people, or the youths of North and the government. That's called that LTTE, Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam. And by that time, it was the main wish for all the people for peace. So we thought that the peace, the United Nations also, their main charter or the main mission, they created for peace at the beginning, after the Second World War. So what we thought is to have a broader, being a small country, that time even less than 20 million population, to have more wider platform, people's platform of working for peace. So the SUNFO, the mission was to building a people's movement working for peace, harmony, and well-being of mankind as a non-political, like a non-religious, non-political, non-sectarian organization working for the betterment of the mankind.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, myself and the late Dr. Baptiste Cruz issued the first calling letter, and we formed a board or the first committee of over 25 I recognized and dedicated, like say some genuine society leaders from different segments, either trade, business, religious, education, scientists, etc. Even the diplomatic, but all had the same objective, same vision, same like commitment to build a peaceful nation, the peaceful country, or the peaceful society, peaceful world. So peace, harmony, and well-being of mankind was our main motto as a non-political, non-sectarian organization.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yes, thank you.
Was it easy back then? I don't know your background. I mean, what was your background, your profession at this time?
That time, yes, that time also my background and the professional background was an engineer. At that time, I was an engineer. I have served in the country's major socio-economic development project called the Mahavali River Basin Project. In fact, there I worked there for about 9 years. Before that also I had about 2 years experience in another engineering institutions. And so after that, so I decided I have not undertaken any permanently engineering jobs, maybe sometimes some consultancy or part-timely. So I dedicated for the peace, yeah,
Yes.
peace and the social work, and also with my own freedom, no, yeah.
Yes, that's what we felt. I felt, okay, interesting. There you give your whole life, you give your heart. We could not see you in a profession when we met you first. You were showing us around in the areas in Colombo. It felt everything very natural, and I think you're a great example that one man can create a big impact, no matter where we are coming from, no matter what our situation is at this time. If we feel something in our heart, like you feel peace is important, then we can go out and do something. And why or where did this inspiration for peace came from? Just because you saw it in your country, that there is a need for peace, or why is peace in your heart? Why is it so important for you?
Yes, I thought the sustain in the society, its need the most important factor is the peace, even sustain the family or the village or even a person himself, as well as yes, schools or the working places, institutions, then the country, as well as the all the uh, aspects of uh, the better world. The peace is the main important
The core, yeah, I
we
understand.
consider, yeah.
It's the core of everything, and the peace. If we have peace in our families, if we have peace in ourselves, if we have peace in our communities, then we can think about bigger goals.
Yes.
And actually, I have to be honest, because of you, I found out of the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. Of course, the UN is very known. It's also in Vienna, in our capital in Austria, a main organization. But seeing someone working with the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations, was very something special for us, because we never felt someone is working with it like you. So can you explain more about the SDGs, that's Sustainable Development Goals?
Yes. If I am answering the question, the very first, that as I said, we initiated or the inaugurated SUNFO in 1999, and the year 2000, the world came into a new millennium. With that new millennium, before the Sustainable Development Goals, the world leaders agreed for an agenda called Millennium Development Goals. So Millennium Development Goals, there are 8 goals. That's also, the peace also one of the goals, but main goal is the poverty, the health, education, renewable energy, like that. But the Millennium Development Goals, for the period of 15 years, from year 2000 to 2015. So that, sorry, that during that period, and so we have been involved in that Millennium Declaration. In fact, that Millennium Declaration, the many initiatives we created, some of the world's largest initiatives also, we were able to create, like that 65,000 people's chain between 2 cities of 100 kilometers in Sri Lanka. If you know the cities, that's called the Moratu and Galle. Because 2004, we faced one of the biggest disaster, that's called the tsunami, Asia's tsunami. Over 50,000 of our people died, completely washed away. Properties, houses, and many things we have seen. 50,000 is for a less than 20 million population, considerable number. And the whole world also came. But in 2004, 2005, parallel to the 1 year of the tsunami, we organized that people's chain. Here in that people's chain, the Millennium Goals. Millennium Goals World Campaign head, the director from New York, came to Sri Lanka. Even he traveled about 50 kilometers along the chain, meeting people. So other side, the Asia level guest we had, he traveled other, and in the mid city, Ambalangoda mid city, we organized a rally, and we were throughout working for Millennium Development Goals. After this ending of the Millennium Development Goal periods, only the Sustainable Development Goals came into effect by agreed world leaders for a period of 2016 to 2030, and that Sustainable Development Goal agenda agreed 193 heads of states, world countries, on 25th September 2015 in a historical the summit at UN headquarters, New York. So at the moment, it's the most powerful agenda agreed by so much of countries officially as their policy agenda. That's all that the goal number 16 is, the peace, justice, and strong institutions. So peace is concerned as one of the main important goals. Apart from that, the year 2001, the UN declared at the agreement of all countries, the a decade, a 10 years period, a decade for building a culture of peace and non-violence for the children of the world. Building a culture of peace and non-violence for the children of the world. It's a decade, 2001 to 2010. So that's also with that, we did many actions, activities, initiatives, programs, trainings, orientations, campaigns to have a peaceful world. So also we initiated, we understood even our country we were facing all those peace issues. So we were going over Asia's longest internal war for a 30 years period. 30 years period. Even I have narrowly escaped 2 or 3 times while I was traveling or doing some services in the areas complete. Even my own brother died, and he's considered as the hero in Sri Lanka because he sacrificed for a suicide, avoid the suicide mission, and protected the ship getting blasted with all on board more than 600. So those lives saved, but the suicide, many suicide bombs blasted everywhere. Even our central bank was blasted. One president was assassinated. Another president narrowly escaped losing eye. Many leaders, people died. So we were experiencing all the bad side of the war. So we were committed for peace. Our mission was for peace. In one stage, there was a small ceasefire. I went to one time, the government controlled one area, another area controlled by the guerrillas, so who were fighting for a separate state. But I entered to the area, there was some ceasefire was there, to that area with 1,000 people, including children, and 3 lorry loads of gifts prepared by the children of South to be given to the children of North.
Very beautiful.
All the lorries filled with parcels. So I personally experienced the uncontrolled area entered, taking the risk of life. But not only that, when I started it, 1,000, we stopped at the number 1,000. We can't take many more, and entered to the area, including that group, the children. Children.
I mean, that's a great
initiatives we did, yeah.
Great impact in your really difficult time of your country. What would be your message to the people out there in the world? What can every individual do for world peace, for for creating peace, like to people in the Western world outside, or in Europe, or in the US or Canada? What is your message to the people?
For their daily life, for their real, because it begins like in our families, in our schools, in our kindergartens. And we saw Sri Lanka, and we saw how needed it is, all this kind of bringing peace into their hearts, whatever it happened in the wartime, in tsunami time. But for us, it's really important to know what's for you. What is your message about it?
Yes, the message, I think the peace, the foundation is to the peace create or peace break coming through the mind, person's mind. It starts sometimes one person's one thought for peace will go further. Also for the destruction or anti-peace or against peace also might create, go for a bigger war or bigger fight or bigger issues to losing many things. So my issue, my message is that we have to build a culture of peace within our minds. Either protect the peace or make the peace. Even it's the bigger way or smaller way, everywhere, it starts from someone, so some group or some team or somebody's mind. So how to have the mindset of for the peace, consider that peace is the most important thing in the world, to have the peace. So my message is from the childhood or the different super segments, society segments, or the different nationalities, or even different the differences, no, either religious, cultural, in the habits, any other ways, and how with all those to give the most priority of building minds with peace. So there is no other way, even anything going against the peace, but we get back the return is it's a disaster. Mm-hmm. Even any war, no one is normally winning. Even someone win, even he himself also loser. Mm-hmm. All are losers. But at any cost, if we can protect the peace, or maintain the peace, or keep the peace, everybody will win. What I think is, now yes, even the UN was created by some world leaders as a union of nations just after the Second World War, seeing the disasters happened in the world, but in the objective of creating world peace. Even though this, so now the over 7 decades past that UN has not succeeded to maintaining world peace at all everywhere, even though at least they have been able to avoid to have a third world war. We didn't have third world war after Second World War, but I think at the moment also maybe more than 50 places some type of conflicts or wars are happening in the world. Daily some disasters happening, destructions happening. So also I think if any third world war comes, there will be, and we know winner, considering the amount of nuclear weapons, chemical weapons, other sophisticated war techniques, everything used, not only the human being, all living beings in this world, completely eliminated, where man has made, invest, research, found so much of things to destroy.
So your message is, the main message is, we all should focus on our own mind first, to hold the peace inside of us, and to avoid in discussions or difficult situations around us that we go too much into heavy discussions. Stay more at peace. That's one of your main messages, right? To stay peace have peace in our minds, in our simple daily life.
Yes, if a person, whether he's having very wealth or the education, knowledge, power, but if he's not having peace in his own mind, he can't carry or take a message to others, or through his position, or through his official capacity, or through his speeches, or through his way of presentation, so a way of life. He can carry a real peace message to others. Without himself, he's discovered within him the peace.
Yeah,
That's so. I think so.
I wanted to ask something because you mentioned the children. And I think that the children are the roots of everything in every city, in every country, in all over the world. They are the fundament of our world, because they will be the future. Are you having projects about peace, about bringing peace and harmony to the schools? So you can have with SUNFO maybe many projects. Did you have something, and what you can share with us?
Yes, that we had several initiatives from our inception, like art competitions, some type of workshops, and developing child leaders, committing for peace, as well as some either commemoration or some type of events for peace. Also, while we were involved in widely for Millennium Development Goals before 2015, and after from 2016 in Sustainable Development Goals. Also, we have, as one goal is for the peace, we have done, or we have initiated different peace activities, especially in the month of February. Interreligious peace and harmony week is there. It's a UN resolution. And so we carry forward many actions and activities. Even just before COVID, we have been recognized that activities organized in Sri Lanka was the world's third best action country for peace. We got from the heads of leader, the Prime Minister, up to the child in the school band or the team to carry the peace message. And some rallies at our Independence Square, the walks, cultural assemblies, handing over that memorandum to the government, UN, and also the professional bodies in Sri Lanka. Together, and we invited them to our rally at Independence Square, the main square in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Also, we have built the world's first peace stupa, Dagaba. It's been pagoda. And that also commissioned in the district of Kalutara, parallel to this, the decade, as I mentioned earlier, the UN decade for building a culture of peace and non-violence for the children of the world. Apart from that, even very recent activity, if I can mention, we have created a process called the Sustainable Development Goals Children's Parliament of Sri Lanka. It's the one and only world's children's parliament in any country in the world. That children created. There are 7 the peace Dagaba from Japan built in Sri Lanka. So we are 30 with the parallel to 35 years anniversary, and we created an art of children, and now it was handed over at that ceremony at Ampara, Eastern Province. But those children whose art highly accepted, even the former Speaker of the Parliament, governor of the area. I think the monks and others came from Japan, even other leaders. Now I heard they have decided to place this piece art created by children. We initiated our children parliament at the mountain path. We call it Adam's Peak. It's a mountain. A lot of people, even in the world, going to Sri Lanka, there is a footprint. That footprint, the people believe that's Adam's first man in the world's footprint. So some are believing that it's the footprint of the Lord Buddha. Even some some others also say in different ways that footprint. But it's a place there are large number of lakhs of people visiting. So that place on the way to that path, that's called the Samanala mountains, want to place that art. So that message, the simple action created for that children room with the first few days ago, in the month of February, for the Intelligence Peace Ceremony Week, will be a national exhibit. It will become now the path of where the people go to see the world's first man's footprint or the Lord Buddha's footprint or any other way they define them. But so the people go and worship.
Great, thank you. It's amazing projects that you're mentioning, and I think that always art can be and all these creative projects you now mentioned, especially art can always promote peace, can always help all our children to have ideas for peace. What I'd like to share with our viewers is, of course, your website and the website also of the United Nations to understand more or to read more about the Sustainable Development Goals that are here, that are possible to follow, that are possible to take as a personal goal, like
health and well-being.
Health and well-being, where we connected first. So everyone can pick one of these goals and say, okay, I like to focus on this goal. I like to focus on, like we do for health and well-being, or others like to focus on other goals like
the farmers, poverty, or education for the children and institutions, communities,
or water management and many others. And like you are here with helping the people, helping the children to in their education. So there are many great ways to help, to serve. And this actually also what we can find on your website on sunfoglobal.org, where we see not only what you mentioned before, your mission and vision, but also different service projects. So that's really fantastic to see that we can do a lot now at these days. We can just need to take one project idea, find people like you are also doing, like bringing people together. That's also something special. I think what you are really good in, having an amazing network, bringing people together, creating ideas, working on it, and empowering people that we can do it. So that's also a very important part, to have this motivation that we all believe we can do it.
And everything is possible, because in your country you had a lot things that happened, from tsunami to the war and everything. So I think it was a special example for all what we saw in Sri Lanka, and what was with you. Maybe Martin can show just a few pictures together that we were together. And we meet there, I think, at the World Congress of Medicine. And then the journey began with the SUNFO.
Yeah, you showed us around, and it was very interesting for us to speak there first, then to see the great work of the university there for complementary medicine, to have the opportunity to speak there, but also to see you first, the first time there, and see how your points are, see your great organization. Then we had a beautiful time at one of your congresses where we could share first ideas, and then we had the idea, let's invite people for a special workshop where we could share with you our principles, our ideas that were taught to us by our teacher, Dr. Master Qi Gong. And what was so great for us, we could immediately see how many people are following you. Like here are people from the health ministry and people working in the health field in Sri Lanka, and they all came because you invited them. And then we found out that these sustainable development goals are really something special, because people like to get into action, actually. And the other part, what we always liked, was the beautiful ceremony at the beginning.
With oil lamp, it was very special. Each time we had the ceremony with you. And at the end, we closed with a love, peace, harmony. melody. So because it's about bringing love, peace, harmony with all the goals that we have is the same. So we hope to bring peace in our countries, peace in our communities, and peace in our homes. Thank you for being with us.